evening and welcome to the OAC Game of the Week here in Berea, Ohio, the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. The 14-7 Yellow Jackets taking on the 9-11 John Carroll University Blue Streaks, and you get a good view right there of why exactly this game isn't starting right at 7 o'clock. You can never have issues, but Brendan Gulick, that young man, is working hard right now to try and correct it.
Yeah, apparently we've got an issue with one of the rims, and so hopefully it won't be too long. He's talking with a couple of the officials. That's Jamie Smith, who handles a lot of the facilities operations at BW, and again, not entirely sure once the I guess I should say not entirely sure what the issue is, but the pregame clock is just under 12 minutes, and it sounds like the teams will have that time before things get started. So, you know, we might be a little bit away here.
Take a look at the way that this matchup is going to go, and it's the second time around. You see what each team has done. It relatively the same, but what's different about it, Brendan, obviously you get to see Baldwin Wallace on a bigger scale, is they've hit a lot more shots. They get to the win the first time around, a game that goes to overtime, but these teams aren't that dissimilar.
No, they're not. In a lot of ways, they play a similar style. They certainly both like to shoot from the outside. It's pretty aggressive. The vast majority of the time, you're going to see John Carroll in a man-to-man defense. If BW goes to his zone defense, something ridiculous happened because they almost entirely always play man. There are a lot of similarities between the two teams, and so really it comes down to execution. And the fact of the matter is that first game kind of played out that way. A good, fun, overtime, hard-fought game. Ended in somewhat of a controversial call in regulation. It looked like Jay Battle may have gotten fouled around the three-point line, and it turned out that the referee did not call the foul, instead called the travel when he had planted again with 2 feet. So it was kind of an odd ending to regulation, but the Jackets ended up winning that game by a couple points in OT.
And it's always one of those things where it's kind of easier as an announcer to see that stuff in hindsight, but trying to get that right live, you know, and we talk about this a lot in this business of no human being is perfect, but you hate to see one or two plays kind of like that dictate a rivalry as good as this one has been, because now 62-61 all time in this rivalry.
Yeah, and look, most years the games are very competitive no matter who wins it. From BW's perspective, they haven't swept John Carroll since the 2012-2013 season, so they've got a chance to do that tonight. Of course, John Carroll won the OAC tournament a year ago, and they've kind of been the top dog in the league, and yet hasn't it kind of looked like the OAC standings have been flipped on their head this year? You've got a John Carroll team that won the conference championship and not having the same kind of season that they're used to. And you've got an Ohio Northern team that brings back an All-American in Ryan Bruns. He was a terrific player last year. Frankly,
he's still pretty good this year.
This year. But they haven't won a conference game, Michael. They're 0-14.
And we got to see the Polar Bears a couple of weeks ago in our OAC Game of the Week. And you're right. And being from Northwest Ohio, I get to see the Bears a lot. And it's kind of an odd year for both the men and the women, where they didn't expect that coming off tremendous seasons the last couple of years, especially the women. But it's just, and you're right, I look at the OAC standings, see Marietta and Capital up top, both 12-2, as you see them on your screen. But you look at that bottom half and you say, any given night in the OAC, but that's not the way it goes this year.
Yeah, and on that graphic, John Carroll's actually lost one additional game because they played last night. And I think it's interesting to point out, Michael, it's going to be the third game in 5 days for John Carroll, because they had to make up a game that was essentially cold weather canceled last week. So how does
that was going around?
Yeah, how does fatigue sort of set in for them? And you know, do they try to do something drastically different because BW had one less day to prepare? I really think it could be an interesting game.
We'll take a break here as we try to get this game underway. It's the OAC Game of the Week on NKT Sports.
A member of NCAA Division III, the OAC features outstanding educational programs in a small class setting, while offering competitive athletic opportunities in 23 sports. 10 private colleges and universities form the OAC, the nation's premier small athletic conference. The Ohio Athletic Conference, where a proud history meets the promise of tomorrow.
BW is your place, a strong arts and sciences tradition of student-centered education, a vibrant and active campus where students don't just learn, but gain real-world practical experience. Through internships with nonprofits in Cleveland, study abroad, field research, and service learning, Baldwin Wallace values you and will provide an academic and social experience that will prepare you for unlimited possibilities. Come be part of the BW community and together make an impact on the world.
Introducing NKT.TV, a brand new solution for the cord-cutting generation. With NKT.TV, viewers enjoy viewer-specific programming with the ability to pick and choose the channels you wish to subscribe to. Missed brush pile fishing this week? Catch it on NKT.TV, along with all your other Pursuit Channel favorites. NKT.TV offers dozens of network and channel options for you, the viewer, to choose from. So go ahead, cut the cord, and get everything you want with nothing you don't. Visit NKT.TV today. What is the best way to reach your customers? Have you tried traditional marketing and fallen short? Use video marketing from NKT Productions. It's effective, economical, and it can be used across multiple devices. Capture your customers where they spend their time most, on TV, websites, email, and social media. Don't miss your chance to show the world how great your business is with video marketing. Experience the power of video marketing through NKT Productions. Meet with one of our experienced media agents to learn more. Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family's schedule.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
A member of NCAA Division III, the OAC features outstanding educational programs in a small class setting, while offering competitive athletic opportunities in 23 sports. 10 private colleges and universities form the OAC, the nation's premier small athletic conference. The Ohio Athletic Conference, where a proud history meets the promise of tomorrow.
BW is your place, a strong arts and sciences tradition of student-centered education, a vibrant and active campus where students don't just learn, but gain real-world practical experience. Through internships with nonprofits in Cleveland, study abroad, field research, and service learning, Baldwin Wallace values you and will provide an academic and social experience that will prepare you for unlimited possibilities. Come be part of the BW community and together make an impact on the world.
kid just hit a reverse 360. So back here at Baldwin Wallace, just about a half an hour delay to try to fix the rim you see there. Hopefully nobody else dunks on it. It's taken a couple of minutes of abuse. Just about 6 minutes before this game gets underway, and we're back inside for the tip-off. Coming up in just moments here on NKT Sports. OAC Game of the Week back here inside the Earthsprung Gymnasium, inside the Lou Higgins Center in Berea, Baldwin Wallace. And we hope that we have the rim situation figured out, because these two teams, Brendan, have been sitting out for quite a while ready to go. And a big portion of what they want to do coming up in our keys.
Oh, it's got to be difficult for these two guys to sit around and try to stay loose. It's a good thing they've had this 10-minute set to get back in a groove here, but frankly it's just difficult, and I have to think that as it now looks like the game is going to start, you have to think that the referees are okay with the game starting, But how it affects play, we'll find out.
You see the blue streaks right here. One big thing that you talked about off the air when we were setting this up was about rebounding for the blue streaks.
Yeah, John Carroll's just had a flat-out tough year on the boards. They've had some games where they've been fairly competitive, but if there is one glaring weakness right now for them, it's that they don't rebound very well. Baldwin Wallace is a pretty solid team in transition, and if John Carroll doesn't rebound the ball well, especially after a missed shot, I think they could be in trouble.
Take a look at the keys on the other side too, and these are interesting too because this is Baldwin Wallace team. It's a big night here. They'll do the honoring at halftime, and they want to get out and get going early.
Yeah, I think they really should, try to focus on getting off to a good start. From a Yellow Jacket perspective, they haven't swept John Carroll since the 2012-2013 season, and look, these teams. They're friendly rivals. When they're on the floor, they don't like each other, but I think there's a lot of mutual respect there, and it starts from the coaching staff. I think the head coaches and the assistants get along really well, and look, the fact of the matter is if you get off to a good start, you can really give yourself an opportunity to, maybe win the game early rather than try to climb that mountain.
And you see your first key for Baldwin Wallace, they're still out practicing free throws on the good rim just to make sure that they prove you right tonight.
They do that every game.
So tonight's matchup getting ready to get underway here in just a few as we have the national anthem coming up on the way, and the starters not that far away. So there's not a lot of people here tonight that have just been happy to just sit around and wait for tonight's game, and you get just a little bit even longer right before you get the national anthem underway.
Well, we're about 45 minutes delayed. Hey, how about on the women's game? It's halftime. John Carroll leads BW 31-21 on the ladies' side after the Yellow Jackets beat the Blue Streaks on the ladies' side earlier in the season.
I think that maybe that's a terrific thing too, because these teams, two of the closer teams in the OAC, just on the opposite sides of Cleveland. You don't have to go very, very far to try to figure out your next game, win or lose.
No, it's roughly a 30-minute drive between schools, depending on whether or not you do it at the wrong time of day and see traffic.
That's always
a good look there at the commissioner, Tim Gleason, who's standing in the middle with the cell phone. And then, of course, Tom Heil, the head coach of the Yellow Jackets, on the left. Pete Moran standing on the right-hand side. And our officials tonight, Rob Wallace, Bryant Berry, Michael Griffith. They've got a decision to make. I don't think you can start the game unless you feel that it's a fair playing advantage for both teams.
Well, and it is interesting, too, because we watched during the warm-ups. I realize it's going to happen during the course of the game. You're going to have to take the dunk because there are a lot of guys that have massive amount of ups, but every time it happened, the rim came straight down on those breakaway rims, and everybody booed.
It's kind of sticky, right?
Yep.
There's springs in the back of the rim so that when you pull down on it, it'll pop back up. You can see the base of the rim there on the back, and perhaps the springs are just a little worn. I can promise you, after having seen lots of games here all season long, this hasn't been a problem at all year. So perhaps just the ominous luck for the game of the week.
I like to refer to that as Scott Robinson luck. Out in the truck, he won't like that one, but it tends to happen wherever we go. It's such an odd thing, though, too, because you get two teams so close, and a lot of these kids played either high school against each other or with each other, and there are a lot of teammates from the area. You know those guys, you've beaten those guys, you've tried to get even with those guys. You've got to feel like the players, and I can see a lot of their faces, they just want this game to start. They made some sort of decision. At least the coaches walking out to their benches, and the officials said, hey, let's go. So at least an opportunity to have a basketball game as you hear the cheers in the background. And they get through the national anthem here, getting ready to start right about now, finally. At just about 10 until 8. Can't have everything you want. Terrific crowd is still filing in. I think that might be the one thing, Brendan, where a couple people came in at 7:30 and said, it's fine, we haven't started yet. Now they're saying, why haven't we?
No longer a late arriving crowd.
The end of the national anthem means only one thing here in Berea. We're just a handful of minutes away now from the start of tonight's game. John Carroll comes in at 9-12 all in the year, taking on a 14-7 Baldwin Wallace squad. This game means a lot. You look at it, you don't think maybe those records, but we talked about the OAC earlier on, the way it's set up. Still trying to figure out where everybody's at heading into the tournament, which just happens to start very soon. Yeah, this is the fourth to last game in the regular season. You get 18 games in the league, and everybody at this point's played 14. The Jackets at 8-6, trying to see if they can somehow get into the top half of the league and maybe get a home game. Starting lineup for John Carroll, number 10 in Sean Flannery, a 4-guard, 1-forward set on each side. Flannery at his 17th game that he started this year, led all of college basketball in assist-to-turnover ratio at almost 6-1 a year ago. He's got Luke Hippler wearing 12, and Jackson Sartain wearing 15, Jimmy Berger, the transfer from Gannon University, wearing 21, and Ryan Berger wearing 32. On the other side for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, they start Jay Battle, number 2. We're going to talk a lot about that young man in the top 20 in scoring in school history, and he's a good one for this team. Jack Curing is in that lineup, or Michael Curing rather, is wearing number 3. Kyle Nader, number 10. Luke Schaefer, 22, and Tyler Colombo, 24. A lot of height in that starting lineup, and some guys that can get end-to-end in a flash. Yeah, the Yellow Jackets like to get out and run the floor. I mean, the fact of the matter is they're a team that wants to play with some pace and some tempo, and they're not going to do it all game, 40 minutes nonstop suffocating, but they're going to try to force the issue a little bit. And if there's any team in the league that can handle that, it's probably John Carroll. Baldwin Wallace coming off an 88-81 loss to Wilmington on Saturday that snapped their 3-game winning streak. John Carroll lost on Monday 93-81 at Heidelberg, and it might mean more for them right now because they're 2-3 in their last 5. Yeah, look, John Carroll at 5-9 in the league. They're probably not in danger of missing the OAC tournament because Ohio Northern hasn't won a game and Muskingum and Otterbein are both at 3-11. It would be very difficult to envision a scenario in which John Carroll doesn't make the OAC tournament. But you start looking at who you could draw in that first round. You don't want to be 7 or 8 if you don't have to, and avoid Marietta and Capital right away. Yeah, you don't want to make those trips. And so it'll be Luke Hippler who will jump it up for John Carroll. You see in the blue jerseys on the left side against Kyle Nader, who's got, or against Tyler Colombo rather, who's got a terrific vertical, and it's not really a surprise that it went that way. So the first possession here for Tom Heil in his 4th year, 63-40 at Baldwin Wallace. Talk a lot during this game again about Jay Battle and see what he will do. It's a nice looking jumper to open the game. At least one rim is good enough to get a shot in early. Luke Schaefer did a good job getting an open shot. I really think even though Luke is a pretty good shooter, it's his defense that he's worked the most on here the last year or so. Had a good freshman year, but really coming along. First shot offline for Jimmy Berger, and there you see, right on cue. That's a different looking shot, too, for Jay Battle. That one right leg, he didn't really seem to set himself. Just wanted to play early. 2 shots and 2 misses for John Carroll through the first 40 seconds. And again, I love this matchup on paper because it's so many kids that see each other all the time. It's a long 3. I get by with a little bit of help. Big shot, Kyle Nader, and even though he's probably the most athletic guy and one of the most physical on the team, every once in a while you'll see him raise from distance. That one he got every bit of the home roll on the way back down, nearly. With the walk was Ryan Berger. The Berger brothers, Jimmy and Ryan, up inside the ball, partially altered, and at least right now, you just talked about tempo and about maybe not trying to stay one way or the other, about controlling it. Right now, Baldwin Wallace seems like they want to go out and just put 50 on the board in the first 5 minutes. It's a pretty good start, a 7-0 run in the first minute 35. Yeah, no, it is a good start, and frankly, I think John Carroll's gotten decent looks. They just haven't made them, and I wonder how much of it is, gets in your head a little bit with the rim. But right now, John Carroll's giving up easy looks to BW2. It's not really a surprise. You look at the way that the coaches have drawn out Tom Heil. From really, I'd like to claim him. He played 4 years in our neck of the woods in Defiance and was a terrific player. He's also the men's golf coach, the 2014 Golf Coach of the Year in the conference. Just a guy who he comes out and he knows a lot of things, but what I've been impressed by is he knows how to get the best out of these players.
Tom is an exceptionally diligent worker. He is about as dedicated as anybody you're going to see. He is fiercely competitive, very intense, and he demands a lot out of his players, and frankly, I think his players kind of take on that demeanor.
Luke Hippler didn't get a real good look at it. The last one had nothing to do with anything but great defense. He's now out to the wing. Great no-look pass underneath. And there's your athleticism. Kyle Nader got rid of a smaller defender and runs the lead to 9. This is a supermodel move for Jay Battle. Just throw your hands up, try to lean back. And the first basket at 17:47. That's what I was mentioning earlier on in the pregame. Easiest thing to make on that basket is going to be anything off the square.
Yeah, you would certainly think so. And Ryan Berger trying to get in a rhythm early. Only played in 9 games on the year. He's started now, including today, 7 in a row, but he's been battling some injuries. And I think he's been a big reason why John Carroll, maybe from a record perspective, hasn't achieved this year the way they'd like to. They really need him to keep playing well.
I think John Carroll kind of might have angered Baldwin Wallace to get another quick basket, already out to an 11-2 lead. One thing that I've noticed so far is they nearly get the travel and it evens itself out, but Baldwin Wallace right now is doing an exceptional job of moving the basketball and creating space.
Well, it's just the way they want to play. They want to get moving, and they've had a lot of opportunities in transition right now, and they've got their foot on the gas offensively. See a couple shots go down, and all of a sudden things get rolling.
Kyle Nader, the 3rd highest scorer in Vermillion High School history, able to put it up and in, and already 8 of his team's first 14 points. And this game's not even 4 minutes old. All the way to the basket again, and partially blocked. Just as good as Baldwin Wallace's looks are getting. John Carroll, who had those 2 early looks, all the way to the basket and a miss for Colombo, but altered. They're just not getting good looks themselves. And then that happened.
What a block, Kyle Nader.
Ryan Berger was thinking about how he was going to destroy the rim for the second time tonight. He had to change his flight path. Nader came out of, I don't know that he's even going to be in the beginning of this shot. But watch where he comes from.
Kyle Nader might have gotten away with a little bit of wrist.
I'll tell you what, when that was coming live, I looked and I thought, I don't know that he's going to get there in time. Well, never mind. Just a terrific defensive play, and a couple of subs already. You're trying to kind of figure out any kind of lineup, and John Carroll's had that a little bit. I was looking at their starters where they've got multiple guys who have about 8 or 9 starts trying to find that kind of rhythm.
Well, John Carroll now 2 of 8 shooting, and both of them are little bunnies. They've got to find a way to start hitting some rhythm shots from the outside. You don't want to dig yourself too deep a hole. They are talented and capable enough of climbing out of it, but the fact is they've struggled to do that this season with consistency.
Both of John Carroll's baskets have come from the Berger brothers. As looking for the heat check shot is Kyle Nader. He was feeling it, and if he had looked down as the 3 is going to be short for Connor Fitzgerald, and he'll draw from the student section you see on the bottom right side of your screen. I love, this is the first time that I've been able to see a game here, but I love having that student section right next to the court on that end. They are loud, they are rowdy, and they really didn't like delays.
It's one of those things where you wonder, would you rather have it on the opponent's side in the first half or the second half, and they get a chance to kind of razz the opposition early on, and then flips the opposite direction.
Tell you what, though, I'm willing to bet you there's some big kids over there. You ask them, they'll carry those bleachers from one end to the other.
There are a whole bunch of football players on that end. You can promise yourself that.
As they would easily carry that over. The pass just a little too strong for Battle. Nearly carried him right back out of bounds. But if everything's going to go your way, go ahead and do all of it. Drew Sova with a basket.
Sova having a terrific season. One of the top rebounders in the league right now at 8.4 a game. He's in the top 5, and his growth and maturity this past year has been terrific as well.
He's got about 5 or 6 games where he's got 13 rebounds or more. That 18 rebound game against Trine last month, or 2 months ago now. But I noticed one thing, he just jumps out because of his ability to spot where the basketball is going to be off the rim.
Yeah, and honestly, I think part of it, you know, when he came in as a freshman last year, still growing into his body a little bit, but he's grown just as much mentally as he has physically. Really been an important piece.
And like a lot of kids in this game, a finance major. That was the one prevalent thing that kept showing up. Hey, it's not bad to have all those kids who are going to know about money in the real world.
No doubt about that.
That's a terrific idea.
That's the Division III model.
So the first 5 minutes, really the first 3 minutes, went straight up in an 11-0 lead. Now a little turnaround. That's a smooth shot.
Jack Listowski's been a really solid reserve player for the Yellow Jackets this year. Doesn't see a ton of time, but he finds a way to really turn on his motor.
Connor Fitzgerald right on cue, a finance major out of Kirtland and Meadow Lake Catholic. So he put 2 up. That's the first that has not come off a layup for John Carroll. Just that little bunny shot, his battle. Right on cue, right through the middle of the lane. I'll tell you what, he does not lack confidence. Hasn't scored yet in this game through one kind of an awkward pass led to an assist, but a baseline jumper up and good. Laskowski. He's got the age-old thing, though. Jack and John. Everybody kind of flips that back and forth. His real name being John, but the second air ball.
Greg Perella saying that he thought the ball was either tipped or perhaps a foul had been committed in his eyes. He kind of looked at the official and put his arms out, wasn't quite sure what the deal was. Jackson Sartain takes his spot on the floor. I want to talk about a dangerous shooter. Jackson Sartain, ridiculously good, the best three-point shooter in Ohio high school basketball history.
Which is crazy when you consider John Diebler is from Ohio.
Yeah.
And he had some of the best seasons. That 77-point game where he didn't really miss anything. But that is high praise. And he just goes to show
already
you.
A top 5 shooter at John Carroll, and he's halfway, a little more than halfway through his sophomore season. He's got a chance to break some records and pass some guys on John Carroll's all-time list that are extremely well thought of. Some rich tradition there.
He got almost a version of a layup to go in the last one. He finger rolled it high off the glass and got it to come down. 3 ball straight away. Hello. Jay Battle, the 42nd player in Baldwin Wallace history to get over 1,000 points in his career. Now tried to get nearly 10 on that shot. But it's just an impressive thing. Talk about energy in our pregame. You hear it right now. So 23-8 at 12:21, and energy was in the beginning. It's in this building. Terrific crowd on hand. Came in here. They're going to get out a little bit later than they had planned, but both coaches kind of trying to figure out, one, you keep the pressure on. The other, how can we get through this half? Differing views on how to do that, but Pete Moran, 25-6 last year. You mentioned about being the OAC champs. That team, everything I read about that team, and I saw them on video a couple times last year, 98 points a game. To just be able to come into that and try to keep up with that pace night in, night out. You walk into a building and say, these guys are going to put up 100 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy how effective they were. And look, a lot of that, Michael, had to do with their depth and their style of play. Most of the rest of the league just couldn't keep up with that. You know, they basically were 10 deep last year, and Coach Pete Moran knows that his team this year is a lot younger. They graduated 4 really important pieces to last year's team. And, of course, Ryan Berger missed some time with an injury. Alan Stokes, unfortunately, had to step away from the team. So you basically go from playing 10 guys last year that played a ton of minutes to now playing 4 guys and then a bunch of guys that just haven't been in the rotation. It's a big step.
John Carroll right now 4 of 13 from the field. Baldwin Wallace at 10 of 14, and they're also 3 of 6 from outside. Pretty well played game, only 3 turnovers so far, but a 9-0 run to open up this game. And Baldwin Wallace has made it hold up as they'll take another 3. Just up and down for Matthew Demetrius. That's a nice shot coming off that screen.
Yeah, first-year player at BW transferred in, and quite frankly, he has been an incredible spark of energy on this offense. Well, I'll tell you what, I just want to jump in real quick. That rim is not hanging straight. And there have been a couple of balls that John Carroll put up that, frankly, haven't gone down. And probably could have gone down had the rim been hanging straight. It's frustrating, it's disappointing, and the Yellow Jackets right now are going to try, I would think, to pour on as much as they can, knowing they're going to have to play with that for 20 minutes next half.
And, you know, I kind of wonder, we saw earlier on the OAC commissioners were here and they were looking at it, talking about the coaches, talking to the referees, and if that wasn't one of those things, I jokingly said to you, try to get as many points on the left half in the first, hoping that you get, you know, a big enough lead. But like you're saying, it's just crazy. That must have been the thinking of, well, each team's going to get an opportunity.
Hey, look, I could count at least 3 shots that John Carroll's put up that have fallen off the rim that I just don't think.
I might say 4.
Well, that went up with some heat on it, but there were balls that kind of sat on the rim. I feel have fallen off, and you know, at this point you can't really do anything about it. You got to try to work through it.
And on the high cross step, here's one that might have gone in because of the way the rim is for Jimmy Berger. An all OAC tournament team selection last year at 16 points a game. So now a 29-10 lead, and it's important kind of for John Carroll, the final 10 minutes to sort of weather this half, and they're getting turnovers, opportunities, great behind the back pass. And I don't know, I didn't see which player, somebody got a hold of the rim.
Well, Ryan Berger had the steal, and then Jimmy Berger tried to dunk it.
Well, I was trying to almost look at he was being shaded as he was trying to do it. So
well, you can tell there's an awful lot of fire in BW's belly right now, and they're trying to take as big of an advantage as they can early in this game, knowing what they've got to deal with 10 minutes from now.
Corner 3 with a shot clock at 5. It's not been a big issue for Baldwin Wallace, just a couple of times that they have even reached 5 seconds. You get an opportunity to look. Just watch the pacing of this. Great behind the back pass to set that up. And the dunk opportunity didn't help the rim out. I saw one of the players in the pregame when everybody else was dunking on it, trying to pull it down. He walked over with the ball, and when he jumped, he used the ball to try to push the rim up.
Sure.
It's a smart play.
I don't blame him.
Maybe that's why it's holding on now, as a pass inside leads to a foul.
I have to say, I am not surprised by the pace of this game right now, but I think it's playing to the direction that Tom Heil and Brian Schmidt want. They are an aggressive-minded team. Not that John Carroll isn't, but this is kind of feeding into what BW likes to do to teams. They like playing at this pace.
Jay Battle back into the game, made his 94th career start today. He was an all-conference defensive back in the Columbus area at Gahanna Lincoln in high school. He can go get a ball as the long runner. No time was left on the shot clock, and Jimmy Berger, 10 straight games in double figures. He's going to have to try to get a lot of that in the second half. There's the Globetrotter move. And a timeout during it.
Yep. Started to yell timeout. Saw Quiring slip over there too. You almost wonder if maybe the tempo is just a little bit too quick. Maybe dial it back just a click or two.
I really think it's kind of maybe a little bit in the head of Baldwin Wallace, like you talked about we're going to try and put up 50 points. We're going to get as many points quickly, because we know it's going to slow down at some point. It's going to grind down, and because of the rim issue in the second half.
Well, hey, in a lot of ways, this kind of resembles the first time these two teams played, doesn't it? John Carroll was down 18 points at home. You know, last year they didn't lose a home game. Like, this is a program that is so historically good at home. And a few times this season, they've found themselves in some pretty big deficits when they've been playing at home. This isn't uncharted territory. Remember when they played the first time around and BW won in overtime, John Carroll was down by 10 with less than 4 minutes to go, and they figured out a way to fight back late. So it's not over till we get toward the end of the game here.
Well, and again, University Heights, like a lot of places in the OAC, they're not easy places to go in and grab wins. You know, when you go in there, you better strap it on, because you're going to be in for a heck of a game. This is the first free throw opportunity coming up. You get a look at this replay that leads to this. Just kind of a bull and a China shot move, run into the defender and be able to draw that foul. And the first, doesn't matter where the rim is. That one was going in no matter where it was. John Carroll makes a handful of substitution to bring in Connor Fitzgerald. So 29-11 with about 10 minutes to go in the first half, and a pair of free throws up and down for Ryan Berger. 2 times he's won the OAC's Player of the Week. Last one coming out all that long ago, just about a year ago.
And Jimmy had it last week. A couple of pretty talented kids, no doubt about that, from nearby St. Ignatius High School. In fact, their high school coach was Sean O'Toole, who is actually in the crowd tonight. Head coach, or I should say former head coach at St. Ignatius, but Coach O'Toole's son, Owen, is also on the John Carroll roster, and Sean was a terrific player at John Carroll back in his collegiate days.
I laughed about that when I was reading a lot of the rosters and said, you know, the age-old rivalries. You see the foul coming up here. That the age-old rivalry, St. Ed's and St. Ignatius, got a lot of kids who played against each other in high school now playing as teammates. Is that I would put that pretty high on the national rivalry scene.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Maybe not quite as intense in basketball as it is in football and hockey and a couple of other sports, but you know, it's the 2 big Division I all-boys prep schools in Cleveland, and they've had some unbelievable matchups over the years.
Speaking of unbelievable, nice crossover for Battle, and the 3 from the corner for Tyler Colombo, the special team All-Ohio mentioned at Tuscarora Central Catholic, which I just wrote as Tusky because who's trying to write out Tuscarora every time? Nobody. Spin in the score. Ryan Berger is a special kind of athlete as well. He had a career-high 31 against Muskingum. He's trying to get to that point with 6. Kind of get the feeling his confidence is growing here in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll kind of see how things play out. I think BW's trying to take advantage of some of these long bombs right now. The fact of the matter is John Carroll has at times been kind of susceptible to slipping on screens, and right now I see BW attacking the rim or shooting from the outside and really nothing in between. We really don't see a lot of mid-range game from the Jackets. It's not uncommon.
That last shot from Tyler Colombo was from Boca Loca Burrito down the street. I'm just saying, this is a foul on the other end as Nader gets caught reaching in. Man, you can see the confidence on that shot when it came up. He looked at the defender. You're a step in front of me. That's fine. This is going in.
I'll tell you right now, Ty Colombo must be feeling it because he's not typically the kind of guy that's going to air him out like that. He'll let him go, but not necessarily with that frequency or with that percentage. But Colombo will take it.
Counts for a terrific basketball family. Sister Mackenzie, the 2-time OAC Player of the Year.
Mackenzie, a incredible young woman and somebody BW is awfully proud of as a young alum. And it was kind of fun to watch Ty interact with his sister during his freshman year and her senior year.
I think those driveway games were like,
yeah,
that had to be a lot of fun. It's a block on the other end. Speaking of feeling it, there's Colombo again. He just shows up now running the floor. 35-16 from the corner. Thought about it. Bangs his way inside anyway. Sets up a 3 from the corner. Baldwin Wallace right now has pretty much set the net on the left side of Blaze.
Yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. The Jackets are shooting 67%.
There's not many times where you can tell an opponent about that. You're going to go to somebody else's house. There's a 3 again. That's nearly Colombo's spot plus about a foot for Luke Schaefer. That's the guy you expect to hit from out there. It's 17 out of 44 now on the year, and everybody trying to show their range. Battle, I don't know that he blocked it, but he got enough to sort of shade that shot.
He definitely grazed it, and that's the kind of sign you want to see from Jay Battle. He can go out there and ball offensively. That's his game, but I think the Yellow Jackets want him to be just as locked in on the defensive end of the floor, and he's got a tough assignment tonight.
Ooh. Speaking of tough assignments, Luke Hippler, he's an All-Ohio men's volleyball player, so you know he can get up. But he could, watch this shot, he couldn't get high enough to get in front of Battle, who is now, under 10, I believe, from being the 16th leading scorer in school history, and he's feeling it.
41-16. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
If they did, I would like for them to buy me some lottery numbers because they have some things to talk about. The cheerleaders are getting ready, and
But again, I think part of it is you just start to wonder here from John Carroll's perspective, where's this got to start? Because at some point here, you just have to mentally hit the reset button, right? I mean,
no, you throw the control and walk out of the room.
Well, if you don't play better defense, you can't expect it to go down the other way. And right now, I have a hunch that the message in that huddle right there for John Carroll has to be, what's going on here? Why is defensively, why are they allowing BW to shoot it at 16 of 24? I mean, no coach is going to say that's okay. 9 first-half threes. Yellow Jackets average 11 per game.
9 of 15 from 3. And it's not just one guy. There are 3 different young men who have made 2 and 3 other guys who have hit 1. That is a crazy number. You can't even go into it, really, as we get back to the action about 6 minutes ago. You can't even in a huddle say, all right, stop this one guy.
No, it's got to be a collective team effort. Hey, we need to defend better. I mean, that's got to be the message. And unfortunately, John Carroll's had that problem a lot this year.
Unfortunately, John Carroll now 0 for 5 from 3 themselves, as I think that was just a mix-up of players. Nader took one right into the nose. John Carroll maybe a little more methodical with a handful of possessions to try to slow this down. They've gotten good screens. It's to the basket, but not high. I think Berger might have been trying to draw a foul there. And a conversation with the official.
Yeah, he was laying out of bounds, and that ball pinballed back off him. So the red call here goes the other way.
So Battle, you can see, has taken himself an opportunity to get another deep breath. You don't get many times.
I know that's where my father-in-law's from.
He's got a mission right now. Battle, he's feeling it. Inside, nobody boxes out. Makes for an easy shot.
Jack Listowski.
Probably not many times in the first half where he's had that. He averages just 4.1 a game. So off the set back in, Flannery back in, into the corner, and a foul after that shot is away. Connor Fitzgerald will go to the line.
Listowski had a career high 20 earlier this year against Muskingum.
Seems like a couple of guys have had career highs against Muskingum this year.
Yeah, the Muskies have kind of had a tough season. It's a program that was starting to really develop some momentum. The tragic death of one of their really exceptional standout players last year, and it just kind of shook the program. Jarrell Marsh passed away in an automobile accident, and Marcus Dempsey's hurt, and Marcus Dempsey for a while was one of the leading scorers in the country, and you take those two pieces out of the equation for Muskingum, and it's been a rough go.
He was at about 30 points a game for a long time.
He's the most electrifying scorer I've seen in the OAC in 10 years.
We had them about a month and a half ago here on this OAC Game of the Week, and I remember just looking at it, being so excited for him, and then he wasn't able to play for that stretch. And just a terrific young man and a heck of a basketball player. So out of the 3 free throws for Connor Fitzgerald. Now Baldwin Wallace back the opposite way, and if it's going to be a call on one side, it's probably a good chance that Kyle Nader's going to get nailed forward on the other side. Just into a cloud and try to run over 3 blue streaks. A couple of substitutions for John Carroll. Ryan Berger back in. There you see just a little bit out of control. Tried to kind of deke 3 guys to set up somebody else. Cameras do a great job. I don't really have to ever say, yeah, I don't know that we got that. They're right on top of it. So John Carroll now trying to figure something out, down 24 after they have been blitzed from the field by a Baldwin Wallace program at 9 of 17 from 3.
Yeah, look, I think some of this you can hang on John Carroll's hat offensively and say they need to have better groove. Oh my goodness. Don't see that very often. Ben Merrill comes up a little short.
I was going to play a game of what was Ben Merrill thinking as he was going down from the free throw line. Oh, that's right, the rim's broken, I can't dunk on it. And you look on the other side and Demetrius knocks down a 3-pointer. It's been that kind of night for John Carroll. One thing turns into 2 wrong things. And an offensive foul. The student section always cracks me up. Immediately, anytime that something happens, you just look over and they look at the camera work, and I guess it would be the explanation about how that play should have gone. Always an opportunity to wipe up the floor as well, but we said a lot about the way the rim is early on, but it's got to be a hard decision. You don't want to send all these people home. You don't want to try to reschedule. You don't want to keep maybe an open date, and you said, Brendan, about number of games in a number of days. You really can't try to reschedule this game the way the season's wrapping up.
Yeah, it's been tough, man. This is John Carroll's 3rd game in 5 days, and you got to find a way to get all of them in the regular season. Theoretically, they could have rescheduled it if they really felt they had to, but I have to imagine that was an extreme last resort, and obviously it's not ideal.
Well, they get a couple of day reprieve before Ohio Northern comes to the Cleveland area on Saturday. Now on the rebound, there have been 3 rebounds I can think of right out of the top of my head where nobody was interested in boxing out, and it's a fundamental thing. Now a travel. Fans aren't going to like it. I think that's probably the only call you could make there.
I thought Drew Sowa was fouled twice.
He thought so too. I think the official, I don't know that the official had a good look at it though. He was kind of behind him. It's a feed back down and in, a little finger roll layup for Luke Kipler. Kipler out of St. Francis de Sales in Columbus.
I think it's a good time out here for Tom Heil. He kind of recognizes his team maybe just a split second losing focus, and you want to try to maintain this lead as best you can, so put the brakes on anything silly that might get away from you at the end of the first half and just kind of lock back in here, refocus.
Well, I jokingly said if you're Baldwin Wallace, you want to get to 50 before the half. You got 2.5 minutes to try to get there. And they've done it on just flat-out terrific shooting. 19 of 32 from the field right now. 10 of 18 from outside.
And I think that's part of where this frustration for John Carroll has been. You can say, look, we're getting blown out, things aren't going well, and you can point to the offensive end where you're not shooting well, but the fact is that doesn't really explain the 59% you're allowing defensively, or quite frankly, Michael, the uncontested threes. You can't give up 10 threes in the first half and feel good about it, but you certainly aren't going to feel good about it when you don't be given, you're not consistently putting hands in shooters' faces. And I think John Carroll right now, look, they've seen the scouting report. They realize BW can light it up. The Jackets right now have as many threes in the first half as they average per game. Carroll's got to do a better job defending the three-point line.
Well, if you just look at the straight-up numbers, Baldwin Wallace has one more three-pointer made than John Carroll has hit 9 out of 9 from the free throw line. You would like for those numbers not to be on par with one another if you're just looking at your own team's offense.
But BW's got 2 more threes made than John Carroll's got field goals made.
That's why it's 48-25 right now. And again, this game coming up near the half. We'll have the president, the 9th president of Baldwin Wallace, and President Helmer, in just a few. There's also a ceremony here at the half to honor the Fall Sports Academic All-Americans. Trying to play like one now inside. I think Kyle Nader might have been surprised that no one was there to really stop him. He got the easy bucket.
Yeah, some of that was right place, right time, but Kyle Nader, probably the most athletic guy on the floor. He'll take advantage of a lot of those.
Good screen game set up for Sean Flannery for Jackson Sartain. Said he's got a hole-in-one. I would love to have a hole-in-one. Mini golf doesn't count.
I'd like to see one, let alone have one.
My grandpa had 3 of them. It irritated me. Up and on the easy steal. Good choice on the layup. Set it off the square, and it's going to work. Jimmy Berger now has hit double figures for his 11th straight game. 20 out of 22 games he's played in this year. But he's been able to make that happen.
This is better defense from John Carroll. The last couple minutes, they have started to get a little tighter. Nice job, though, by Jay Battle. Get those feet set. Draw another whistle.
4th time now in this game that there's been an offensive foul in nearly the exact same fashion. But you just know, you look at Pete Moran on John Carroll's bench, and he takes over for his dad, Mike, who's the coach here for 25 years. You grow up, you get that. His brother's a coach now on his staff. He was a high school head coach and really kind of helped to recruit a handful of these players, but you just know there's too much experience. They've got to figure out something at the halftime break.
Well, somewhere along the way, I think it's less about the coaching staff and more about the guys on the floor. You know, it's gut check time. If you're John Carroll right now and you're losing by 20 at halftime to your crosstown rival, coaches coach, players play, and it's up to guys on the floor to go out there and decide they want to defend better. And I think these last couple minutes they have, so it's a good step in the right direction for them.
Good give him a go back to Colombo now as he tries to figure out if he wants to work in the post with 6 seconds. He'll choose no, the 3 offline for Demetrius. 35 seconds left in the first half. This is, you said gut check time, it's an important possession time right now for John Carroll. The difference in about 10 seconds on the shot clock. Halfway down and out for Sartain.
Well, Sean Flannery is so pesky defensively. He gives you no breathing room at all.
Shot clock off in the final 15 seconds here for Battle. Trying to initiate that 5-second call. Referee said, no, I don't think so. Battle now down to 5 seconds. Skips one over. Colombo for 3. Sat and watched it go as we come to the halftime break in a 50-30 contest. That was something.
Yeah, I don't think that's really what anybody quite expected, but the Yellow Jackets certainly enjoyed going out there and kind of getting off to that hot start, and now you start to wonder what the second half is going to look like. I have to think John Carroll is going to dig deep here and come out firing early in the second half. And for BW, you got to let your defense become your offense. Give yourself easy looks at the rim on the other end of the floor.
Coming up in just a few, they'll honor the Fall Sports Academic All-Americans, and we'll talk to President Robert C. Helmer in just a few. 50-30 in favor of Baldwin Wallace here in Berea on NKT Sports.
A member of NCAA Division III, the OAC features outstanding educational programs in a small class setting, while offering competitive athletic opportunities in 23 sports. 10 private colleges and universities form the OAC, the nation's premier small athletic conference. The Ohio Athletic Conference, where a proud history meets the promise of tomorrow.
BW is your place, a strong arts and sciences tradition of student-centered education, a vibrant and active campus where students don't just learn, but gain real-world practical experience. Through internships with nonprofits in Cleveland, study abroad, field research, and service learning, Baldwin Wallace values you and will provide an academic and social experience that will prepare you for unlimited possibilities. Come be part of the BW community and together make an impact on the world.
Going on right now.
It's Kyle Kelly of the Yellow Jacket football team. He's academic All-American from the Akron area, went to St. Vincent St. Mary High School. He's there with his mom and dad and his girlfriend. And there's head coach Jim Hilbert of the football team, and he got the trophy, or I should say the plaque from President Helmer. Ryan Simpson, Kyle Kelly, the two football players that received academic All-American honors. And then on the soccer side, Rachel Bender is a terrific young lady and one of the most prolific scorers in school history. And Danny Ruppel on the men's side, who has already broken several school records, and he is a junior. And I have to think by the time Danny's done, he's going to be a surefire Hall of Famer here in Berea.
I'd say there's a good chance. He might be pretty close right now. It'd be a bigger shock if he doesn't end up being.
Get a good look at Danny, his mother and father. Of course, his father, Kevin, being a longtime sports information director and now director of athletic communications here on campus. Proud moment there. Looks like Rachel may not have been able to make it tonight, so still recognized at halftime. It's Chris Diaz, the athletic director, on the left there, and the man in the white beard is Dr. Alan Kolp, who is the Yellow Jackets athletics faculty rep. Does a great job on campus. He teaches a leadership course that a lot of our student athletes here at BW take, and wonderful man.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk to President Helmer. It is 50-30, Baldwin Wallace at the half here on the OAC Game of the Week on NKT.TV.
Introducing NKT.TV, a brand new solution for the cord-cutting generation. With NKT.TV, viewers enjoy viewer-specific programming with the ability to pick and choose the channels you wish to subscribe to. Missed brush pile fishing this week? Catch it on NKT.TV, along with all your other Pursuit Channel favorites. NKT.TV offers dozens of network and channel options for you, the viewer, to choose from. So go ahead, cut the cord, and get everything you want with nothing you don't. Visit NKT.TV today. What is the best way to reach your customers? Have you tried traditional marketing and fallen short? Use video marketing from NKT Productions. It's effective, economical, and it can be used across multiple devices. Capture your customers where they spend their time most, on TV, websites, email, and social media. Don't miss your chance to show the world how great your business is with video marketing. Experience the power of video marketing through NKT Productions. Meet with one of our experienced media agents to learn more. Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family's schedule.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Back here at halftime of the OAC Game of the Week, Coach has got to feel pretty happy right now, Bob. Just a terrific first half.
Oh, I would think so. The rivalry between John Carroll and Baldwin Wallace is always a great one. And when you look at the scoreboard tonight, BW is rocking it.
You guys had kind of an odd thing with the rims at the first half. How did they make the decision to play this game?
Beats me. They say the rim was bent up and we replaced it, and now it's level, and it's working for us. So
be honest, you were dunking on it earlier, weren't you?
At 5'8", yes, that's exactly what I was doing.
That's why they brought on the ladders, just to make sure.
That's right. That's why they didn't ask me to fix it.
You guys are having a terrific night. Obviously, you're able to honor your All-Americans, and you've got some really great human beings.
Oh, we do. We have more All-Americans than any other school in Ohio, and we rank 12th in the United States for the number of All-Americans. So we're really proud of that.
You should probably just tweet that out like every day.
Probably. That's a good idea.
You look around right now, though, and you've got to be just absolutely thrilled. One, with the way the boys are playing. Two, with the amount of support that's here tonight.
Yeah, tonight the gymnasium is just filled with fans, and we have a lot of John Carroll fans here as well, which I think is a testament to the rivalry.
And a lot of people walked in late and said, wait, what's going on here?
I saw that. They expected that they would come in maybe for the second half, and we hadn't tipped off yet.
Well, in Cleveland traffic.
There you go. And the fog.
A lot of great things you guys are doing here at the university right now.
We are. BW is doing really well. Our programs, especially math, computer sciences, engineering, we're really doing well.
Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with us.
You're welcome. We'll enjoy the second half.
Back with that second half in just moments here on NKT Sports.
A member of NCAA Division III, the OAC features outstanding educational programs in a small class setting, while offering competitive athletic opportunities in 23 sports. 10 private colleges and universities form the OAC, the nation's premier small athletic conference. The Ohio Athletic Conference, where a proud history meets the promise of tomorrow.
BW is your place, a strong arts and sciences tradition of student-centered education, a vibrant and active campus where students don't just learn, but gain real-world practical experience. Through internships with nonprofits in Cleveland, study abroad, field research, and service learning, Baldwin Wallace values you and will provide an academic and social experience that will prepare you for unlimited possibilities. Come be part of the BW community and together make an impact on the world.
Introducing NKT.TV, a brand new solution for the cord-cutting generation. With NKT.TV, viewers enjoy viewer-specific programming with the ability to pick and choose the channels you wish to subscribe to. Missed brush pile fishing this week? Catch it on NKT.TV, along with all your other Pursuit Channel favorites. NKT.TV offers dozens of network and channel options for you, the viewer, to choose from. So go ahead, cut the cord, and get everything you want with nothing you don't. Visit NKT.TV today.
What is the best way to reach your customers? Have you tried traditional marketing and fallen short? Use video marketing from NKT Productions. It's effective, economical, and it can be used across multiple devices. Capture your customers where they spend their time most, on TV, websites, email, and social media. Don't miss your chance to show the world how great your business is with video marketing. Experience the power of video marketing through NKT Productions. Meet with one of our experienced media agents to learn more.
Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family's schedule.
Back here in Berea, it's a 50-30 lead for Baldwin Wallace at the halftime break. Big thanks to Coach. See, I did it again. To President Bob Helmer, who was fighting off dental surgery, and he's a happy guy right now. Terrific first half for Baldwin Wallace. We'll look at the stats here in a second, and the replays. There you see the stats right now. 10 of 20 from 3. We talked about it. 20 of 36 from the field, but just a lot of important numbers, and you kind of almost don't even look at the fact that Baldwin Wallace has 10 first-half turnovers, just a tempo thing. 3 of those are on offensive fouls.
Yeah, and look, John Carroll, I think they play a fairly aggressive-minded style of defense, especially Sean Flannery. So, you know, they're going to try to get hands in passing lanes. They're going to try to disrupt ball handlers up top, and so once in a while, you know, they're going to force you to turn it over. But the fact is, sometimes they get burned and they get beat on some long 3 balls, and that's really hurt them.
You see the first half highlights of both teams having opportunities to get through the lane. That's just a terrifically wild shot to get to go for Jackson Sartain. You might see more of that young man in the second half. You talked about him being a terrific shooter, and with the flip of the ends of the floor and the one, I guess so you would say, good rim, you might see a lot more of an aggressive style, I would think, from outside from John Carroll.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't catch it in the pregame, we were delayed at the outset of our game by almost 45 minutes because the rim at which BW is going to be shooting at here on the right half of the floor this half, the rim was not up to standards, and so they took their time to try to get that right. It's better, but it's still not great. And I think if you're a Yellow Jacket going into the second half, you got to find a way to just get over it. Shoot it so pure that it doesn't hit the rim.
Get a lot of layups. I think that would help
too.
You do it too.
That would definitely help too.
Jay Battle back out on the floor right now. Had a terrific first half individually. Just looking at his numbers up and down. Didn't score a whole lot, but didn't have to. He was so effective with being able to put the basketball right where it needed to be for B-Dub.
Yeah, 7 assists. He had 7 of the team's 12 assists in the first half. Pretty impressive stuff from BW's unquestioned senior leaner.
And he gets fouled right on cue. It was a nice back down, though, in the post for Kyle Nader. Tried the little baby hook, almost got it to go. Ryan Berger picks up the foul. Trying to get just a good look, get any kind of spacing. What I was impressed by is at times, both teams did a terrific job of getting offensively and then defending defensively of those easy backdoor screens. Quick tempo back the opposite way as a three on the way. There you go. Jackson Sartain. Not one of the best three-point shooters in Ohio history for a reason. He's able to get up and get down. And there's a three on the way. I would say short for Colombo, even if the rim was normal.
Yeah, that was ugly. I don't know how else to I don't really know how else to describe it. That didn't look very good.
I think he knew it too, because as soon as that ball went in the air, he turned towards his team's bench like, should I have not taken that one? I was feeling it in the first half. Free throw up and down for Luke Schaefer, the Medina County Player of the Year at Medina High School, third team All-Ohio, over 1,000 points in his career. He's got a smooth looking free throw shot. Came in 25 of 30 all in the year before those. I'm always curious whether it's halves or in quarters, the first about 3 minutes of each half to see what each team will try to do. And John Carroll seems to come out as a much more aggressive team.
Well, you had to think that, they weren't going to roll over. The way that John Carroll played in the first half, that's just not John Carroll basketball. That's not their brand. It was more the poor defense that I found alarming than the missed shots. So certainly expected them to come out with some more defensive momentum and energy.
Hippler had it stripped away from behind. Both teams tried to argue which way they thought it should go, which is also one of my favorite kind of game within the game sort of things. Anytime something happens, 10 guys immediately, 5 pointing each way. No, that wasn't us. No, there's no way.
Got to try to sell it, right?
Right, and there's the backdoor pass. Terrific setup on the defensive end, but it's just too much. Luke Hippler able to throw downhill for an easy basket for Sean Flannery. Now you kind of chip away. Remember, about 2 minutes ago, this is a 20-point game. Lead now down to 15. And the foul is going to go. Going to go defensively. The worst part about that is you can make your own assumption about how you think this should go. But Nader into the lane.
That's the right call. Flannery wasn't quite set. He was still turning his hips a little bit. He was trying to get in the right position for sure, but he wasn't set.
I think Flannery, the worst part about it is when he kind of fell down, he smacked the back of his head on the floor, and that's why he sat there for a second. Trying to make sure that he wasn't seeing stars. And Nader, the transfer from Malone University, able to get the free throw up and down. I love the fact that Joby File, who's not playing, is the guy who kind of usurped him as Vermilion's second leading scorer in high school.
Oh,
it's got to be something where you go.
Cam Kuhn, who graduated last year, is the other one.
Right. It would be the worst thing. Hey, man, could you just let me have one nice thing? And right now, it is Nader who's trying to take over. You see him all the way to the basket, got around the defenders and draws another foul. Now starting to mount up as that is 3 on Berger. And Nader, no good on the free throw. 22 of 41 this year. He's a third-team All-Ohio selection in high school. Tell you what, I made that trip too, out to Vermillion.
Yeah.
You want to play well. You want to score a lot of points and get out of there. It's a long trek. It's a beautiful trek. It's a beautiful area. Just a long trek from anywhere. Good screen for the 3. Just off back rim. Everybody's standing around working so hard on the defensive end. It makes that ball easy to pop right back out to the top.
John Carroll's ball rotation significantly better here in the second half.
They seem like a different team energy-wise coming out. And the slam. Kyle Nader does not care about your baskets. That's a grown man doing some grown man things. And Battle fixes it. He might have gotten a bigger hand than the slam itself. The student section are raising the roof. Here's the dunk. Just a little flyby. But the student section reacted higher to that when the rim was put back in place.
Well, the last thing you want to do is have a lasting problem. So glad to see it pop back up there.
Jimmy Berger to the basket for 2. He's got 14.
Looks like an official timeout here. Maybe Kyle Nader dealing with some blood. Yep, the athletic training staff going to go chat with him.
Inadvertent elbow in the first half to the nose where I thought that one might have done it, but this looks like maybe his hand. Look at his hand shake as they try to wrap up his finger and get rid of his blood. That is not something you want to see. That's the tip of either his index or his middle finger. The way that is, trying to handle that basketball. He probably hit it when he came up on the rim, honestly.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit.
So you get a look at what Kyle Nader has done in this game. At times, he's been a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, he's been incredible. And honestly, he doesn't typically light it up from the outside, but when he does, all of a sudden it adds another element to his game. He's much more of a slasher than a shooter. But nice to see him connecting from the outside tonight.
Also the fact that he comes in at just 8 points a game in his 24 minutes. But that's what happens. Sometimes you kind of round in these seasons. You want to have your opponent as battle for 3 money. Even on the broken rim. Just puts it up and in. But you get later in this season, guys want to prove, all right, give me 5 minutes. Give me 7 minutes, whatever. Let me go out there and show you what I can do. And that lead that was just down to 15 is right back up to 20 on the slam and the 3. Battle's feeling it. That was the Harden shot. Quick little shimmy to his right. So John Carroll back trying to get back down to 15.
Connor Fitzgerald steps into one. Nice to see him try to get going a little bit. He's definitely got some ability, but just hasn't found a great rhythm yet tonight.
The two-sport standout.
Scored a couple of times, but I feel like there's more to what Connor's got.
And I love this game. Just like I said, the way that different guys are trying to do some things here. Pull up from the elbow, that's good too. The junior, Michael Curing with the basket. And right back the opposite way. This happened in the first half. It'll happen again here. They have 2 players blinking numerals at the same time because scores within a span of about 20 seconds. Baldwin Wallace back with their 17-point advantage. Doesn't seem to be bothering them where that rim is right now. The feed inside, up and off the glass, 2 more. And a good timeout, a 30-second timeout. There's not very many times you're going to be able to stop a guy with a full head of steam. The ball fake really creates that off the screen, off the glass for 2.
Well, John Carroll at times has chipped back away at this lead a little bit, but whatever BW is doing, they're finding ways to just not let John Carroll get any significant momentum. And I think it's been frustrating for John Carroll. Look, they're kind of tit for tat with him here in the second half, right? But we sort of talked about it early on, man. You can't dig yourself a 20-point hole on the road and expect that it's going to be easy sledding in the second half. John Carroll shooting it a little bit better in the second half, but not significantly better.
The good news, though, if you're John Carroll, Baldwin Wallace is still stuck on 10 threes.
Well,
they had that at the half.
They have certainly defended better here in the second half, but they're letting BW get to the rim here. Something's got to give eventually, right?
So the first 5 minutes, the first half now in the second half, try to see where you go. That's a way to do it, but you thought it was the other way around in the first half for John Carroll. Now they just can't get shots to fall on this side. Lead back to 19. As he kicked into the corner. Just high. It's a good-looking shot. Here comes John Carroll right back through the middle. 3 defenders, though, waiting on him. That's the 4th time in their transition game where Baldwin Wallace has been able to run the floor well enough to get back in front of him. And as Battle tries to knock the ball away, he gets fouled, or he gets a foul call on Sean Flannery.
How about an update from the women's game that just went final? John Carroll 64, BW 59. So they split the regular season series with both teams winning on their home floor. That looks like it was maybe a little more competitive than the one we've got.
Well, I was going to say much more competitive in the second half, too, because that was a 10-point game at the break at 31-21. So both teams will head now to the bench. It would appear that there's some blood on the floor. Tell you what, it's the first time that I've been here to Baldwin Wallace, and this is a not only a terrific facility, the people are great here, and anytime anything happens, they're right on top of it.
They take a lot of pride here on campus of trying to be hospitable.
And the referees are Johnny on the spot. That happens to be a blood spot.
You can probably thank Kyle Nader for that.
That's probably true. Whatever that wrap was, just could not. That's how you know it's your night. Even the wrap on your finger can't hold Kyle Nader down. He's just having that kind of night. But just he's a terrific read, too, because there are so many parts about him where he just seems like such an unassuming young man where he can go out, he can do that. But then, much like what Jay Battle's doing tonight, kind of take that, I don't want to say a back seat because I don't disrespect what he's done with the ball, but kind of a side seat and create for his buddies.
Look, this is an unselfish team. I can promise you nobody on BW's side really cares what their individual numbers are. They want to win, and they went through a rough stretch at one point earlier this season where they started conference with a loss to Mount Union, a close win over Muskingum, and then they got handled pretty easily at Marietta and kind of got smoked at home, lost by almost 25 points to Capital. So they kind of had a gut check early on, and I think they've collectively done a good job of putting their egos aside and moving on.
This Battle's doing everything. Hey, look at him doing it. It's a nice shimmy with that towel. This kid's got some moves. The final regular season OAC game of the week comes up next Wednesday night. It'll be the Heidelberg women traveling to Ada to take on the Ohio Northern ladies. That should be a fascinating game with the way that the season draws to a close. And then we've got both championship games, the men's and the women's, on the 23rd at yet to be determined locations. Because there are a lot of teams that are going to play hard, and Brendan, you know all about this, wanting to play in that game and play that game at home.
I've called the OAC championship game several times over the years, man. It's a ton of fun, and the energy and the enthusiasm in that game is it's fun to watch. These kids realize that you don't often get a chance to play for a championship, and when you do it in a tournament style, the OAC's had a pretty awesome tradition of outstanding basketball over the years. Looking forward to seeing this year's championships.
Well, I can tell you right now that they have been an absolute pleasure, the OAC has, for all of us to work with. They've been more than accommodating, and we are in absolute thanks to them for really helping us be able to do this on a day-to-day basis. It's Battle now back. Oh, he's feeling it. Wasn't able to get that one to go. That was one I think that he was going to think about later on. Still a 19-point lead. There's a quick step over. And the make.
Jackson Sartain, little string music. John Carroll trying to shoot their way back in. They've got it at 16.
Sartain has the opportunity to break so many school records, already made 93s last year to do so. Sits 5th coming into today in school history and made 3s. And B-Dub right now is in, I would call it kind of a precarious position because they're up 16, but there's a lot of time left, and you've seen already in this half, John Carroll can go string together a handful of buckets. You can't make little mental mistakes and give extra possessions.
No, you just got to keep your foot on the gas pedal on both sides. For John Carroll, it's not out of reach. And for BW, you can't get complacent.
There's a foul, stops play at 13:04. Zach Sabula the business marketing major out of Brunswick High School, into the game and picks up a foul almost immediately. I believe that you've got to do that. He's got 2, but I believe that's kind of the marker. You know you were in the game. His dad was an All-American here back in '93. That's what I love about D3, is there are so many stories where mom went here, dad went here, grandpa went here, mom and dad met here in a couple of cases, and you get that lineage of, it's not about what your name would be on the back. It's about that name and that legacy on the front of the jersey.
Yeah, it's a special place. These are 2 schools that have an immense amount of pride, and quite frankly, in the Cleveland area alone, as Battle spins one in there, in the Cleveland area alone, there are a ton of alums of these 2 universities. So it's a fun game.
The shot for Hippler, he just stayed with it, able to get himself a basket. That was nothing more than the fact that he was determined that he was walking out of that possession with a basket. Here's his steal again. And I just talked about John Carroll trying to get on a run. They're going to try to string together back-to-back possessions with a slam. Hello, Jimmy Berger.
I was about to say Luke Hippler's got a chance to be really good by the time he graduates, but I think Jimmy Berger's kind of showing him the way here.
He's going to show everybody what he can do with his height. And the best part, he threw it off of a beat-up player and then maybe had some words for him afterwards. Baldwin Wallace with a hard work inside from Drew Silva. Talked about his rebounding earlier. Stuck with it. And you bragged on Luke Hippler. You see him on the floor right now. He's trying to prove you right. This has turned into a track meet.
It's a little more what John Carroll's used to doing. This is more typical John Carroll basketball. You only get the end of the replay there as Hippler lays it in, but you know, when they're at their best, they like to run the floor. This year they haven't always had the bodies to be able to consistently press you defensively and run up and down. Over the years have pretty typically been 5 in, 5 out substitution rotations. That hasn't been the case here in 2018 and 2019, but they've still got some talent, and they can still run with you for sure.
Hippler, who shoots less than 50% on the season from the line, connects on that, and right on cue what I was talking about lineage. His brother Mike graduated from John Carroll in 2017. And here's an opportunity again, wide open 3. Just a little bit too much. The air caught that one. Sean Flannery. Have you ever actually committed a foul in a game, Brennan, where you just said, yeah, that's me? I don't think that's a thing.
Maybe a time or 2. Sean Flannery is also about as competitive as you're going to find. Love watching him compete. Of course, his dad, Eric, the head coach at St. Edward High School locally, a great basketball family here in Cleveland. And Sean is basically everything that you kind of want in a young player. You know, if you're head coach Pete Moran, Sean a junior now, technically an upperclassman, but just a really solid player.
It just happens to be that he holds St. Ed's assist and steals records. As a preseason McDonald's All-American in high school, and oh yeah, just happened to pick up a D1 state title. That was a tremendous team. Got to see them in Columbus that he was a part of. And I remember thinking, similar to what you're saying about a handful of these players, that kid's going to be something special. As the kind of awkward decision on how that was going to go ends up paying off.
Luke Hippler cuts it to 10, and all of a sudden, John Carroll's bench on their feet. Their fans are a little more into it. Halfway through the second half, and the Blue Streaks aren't going away.
Just inside of this half, Brendan told a story about how the first game went when it went to overtime. All of a sudden, 10-point leads became nothing. Right now, the Blue Streaks are the ones that are remembering that, and the Yellow Jackets are trying to prevent it the second time around. You see the drive that was ultimately blocked and ended up out of bounds, right in front of the cameraman. Those guys should get hazard pay. I know I don't want to do it.
I'll let you oversee that.
Right. I'm not taking that up with the office. That's Scott's problem. And it's not coming out of my check, I'll tell you that. Great pass. Flannery, you just said on the last possession about how competitive he is. He hung on every spin of that basketball for Luke Hippler to get to the line. And it seemed to horribly irritate him that shot didn't go in.
Look, John Carroll's 5-9 right now in the league, and there's not a player on that roster that is happy with that mark. They realized that they've still got an opportunity to try and close the season on a good note. That was a terrific pass and a great finish toward the rim, but didn't go in, and so Hippler takes care of business from the stripe. Look, I don't think this John Carroll team is going to be an easy outcome tournament time, man. I really believe that, you know, they have the ability to string it together. They just haven't done it consistently enough this year.
That free throw that Hippler just missed, by the way, was his team's first miss from the line. He ends up hitting 1 out of 2 to make it less than 10, but it's so crazy to think about the way that the tournament is going to line up in a week or so. As a 3, finally, you feel like, all right, we've got some momentum. If you're John Carroll right now, you look back at the scoreboard, nope, not again. Back to double digits.
Can't leave guys wide open on the arc. Quiring just buries it.
Unless it's me. You can leave me wide open. I won't hit that shot. I'd say me or John Fanta, but John Fanta probably hit that shot 12 out of 10 times. Speaking of 12, there's Luke Hippler again. Game is now down to 9 at 9.5. And all of a sudden that energy that was on Baldwin Wallace's side with the crowd, with the band, that's not here anymore. It's much quieter on every possession.
Now you can start to feel the tension building inside the arena, no doubt.
All the way to the basket. There's the energy again. It's almost Mr. Energy. Right back on back-to-back baskets. The lead back into double digits. But I just wonder if you're John Carroll right now, you're going to go for 2 this time around and get one right up off the rim. But I was going to say how long you can continue to try to trade three-point opportunities.
Oh, there's a ton of time left. You got less than 9 minutes left. It is way too early to start thinking about that. You got to just keep on getting points.
Sean Flannery, even with the wrap on his left middle finger, able to run the point. That might necessarily not be something that I've talked about enough about how well he's doing handling the ball when Battle is on the bench. Ball back out of bounds and another opportunity for John Carroll. And speaking of, right back up off the bench in time is Jay Battle. Final 8.5 minutes in what has been an interesting night already. We already crossed 9 o'clock. And
looks like Sartain might have had his heel on the sideline there, so it's going to get turned over.
Well, I was going to have to say the official was going to have to be eagle-eyed to be able to probably catch that one, because he was the only guy in the gym that was looking where Sartain's back heel was.
Well, that's his job.
He's good at it, because he caught that one from halfway across the gym. Good reach just to be able to poke that one away. Jimmy Berger nearly came up with a steal in the tie up. The first one of those I think we've had.
As far as I can remember, yeah.
That's very odd when you think of all the things that have happened in this game to think.
Well, early on, I mean, you just had a bunch of made shots, right? And misses typically were short rebounds. Didn't have a lot of loose balls.
So the ball out of bounds for Battle with 15 seconds left on the shot clock, which for him is an eternity because he can get to the basket in such a flash. Brings it back up top of 10, trying to create some kind of room with 6. Back outside, the threes now got to get up quickly. And I believe there's going to be an argument about maybe there should have been a foul called there. At least that's what Baldwin Wallace fans would think. I think the officials didn't feel the same way. It didn't hit anything, so the first shot clock violation of the game. Things are pretty much even. One thing that is playing in B-Dub's favor right now, bench points 21-10. They have gotten terrific production from guys stepping up. As Battle with a no-look pass underneath the basket and the acrobatic reverse layup to finish it off.
Well, Pete Moran's going to call a timeout to try to get his defense mentally locked back in, because at 11 points, this is not out of reach for the Blue Streaks. They've got to find a way to mentally get things back in order.
Again, that's another terrific camera shot to be able to get that.
No doubt. While we've got a minute here, the other games in the OAC have all wrapped up at this point. We've got a couple of interesting ones tonight. First of all, Marietta lost at Mount Union tonight, 78-66. So the Pioneers lose only their third game in the OAC. The other two came to Capital. Capital won at home against Heidelberg 86-80. So now Capital is back in first place. Muskingum almost beat Wilmington, but Quakers with an extra couple points there in that second half beat them 84-82. And how about Ohio Northern? First OAC win of the year, 75-70. They beat the Otterbein Cardinals.
And last I saw, the women were winning as well, so it might be a good night in Ada. That is it's just something. You just want to get any kind of momentum going into the last handful of weeks. And obviously, if you're the Northern men, it's not the season you want to remember, but you get to continue to watch Ryan Bruns for another couple weeks.
Look, Ryan Bruns he's a special player, and I think there's a lot of people around this league that think he's going to be a pro, and you just can't take for granted having him out on the floor. Ohio Northern is very, very fortunate to have a player of his caliber. He was an All-American a year ago, and he's had a similar season, but his team has struggled a little bit, so maybe it's taken away some of the glitz and glamour of his game.
Have you been to Chickasaw, where he's from?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? It's a couple of really nice places to get some food there. It's the 74-63 lead. Battle up and in. Saved his scoring for the end. He's got 13 now. One of a handful of players in double figures. See what John Carroll does. I'm always fascinated to see how teams come out and respond after they go from being in single digits right back down. Those last couple of possessions, just the story of their night. The ball will not fall in.
No, but I think they've defended much better here in this second half, and so that certainly kept them closer. But they're going to have to come up with something here in the final 6.5 minutes. Not out of reach again, but can't let this lead blossom too much bigger.
Both teams have taken 58 shots from the field. Baldwin Wallace has hit 29, John Carroll's hit 23. The difference is Baldwin Wallace has hit twice as many from outside at 12 of 28. So the team that hit 10 in the first half is a behind the back pass out to Battle. He just made it work. During it with a ball off target, knocked out of bounds. I always feel like the cameraman might have, they might have the best game. They get the seat right up underneath, and then two 200-pound men at 6'5" come rolling by. You see the cheerleaders scatter, and I think, no, I'm happy. It's fine. we're not going to switch as the ball kicked out of bounds. 76-63 in front of a terrific house, especially for a Wednesday night game of the week. There you see, let's try to perfectly illustrate both cameramen from what I was just talking about. Those guys do a terrific job. And sometimes you have to hide and get out of the way of the referee. John Carroll off a high inbound set for Luke Hippler. Kind of feel like at some point it's got to go back to him, right?
Oh, you would certainly think so. I mean, he's got to be one of the most important players on this John Carroll team, not just in the future, but right now. I mean, look, it's Ryan and Jimmy Berger have had good runs, nice little run underneath. But I think it's Hippler that's found some success here in the second half. Got to feed him.
So that again, a hook up to Kyle Nader from Jay Battle. I always love the story. Different things about Battle. Thinking about the Muskingum game where he hit 14 out of 14 from the line. There aren't many teams. His team hasn't come close to 14 attempts in this game. And he had 14 out of 14 by himself in that night. That's what shows you he does all the little things well, as he steal leads to a 2-on-1 and a 3 in the bottom of the bucket. Lead back down to 12 for Connor Fitzgerald. Shoots 39% from out there, and the ball lost out of bounds. Good timeout for John Carroll right now, though, at 5:09. Try to make sure that nothing happens here as they look at the 3 for Fitzgerald. Didn't have a lot of movement, was a perfect shot. So the cheerleaders back out, and again, just a tremendous set of games we've had the first year that we've been able to bring the OAC to life every Wednesday night. A lot of interesting trips, and I know you get to see a lot of these campuses, a lot of beautiful gyms and a lot of beautiful campuses in the OAC.
Oh, no doubt. I think it's a conference that has showcased itself well nationally, and more than just basketball, but you've got some really cool basketball gymnasiums. I mean, I think Marietta is probably the best home field advantage, or I guess I should say home court advantage in the conference.
Based on geography.
Well, they're right on top of you. They get great crowds. They've got an incredibly cool video board now at midcourt. Marietta, it's an awesome place. Capital has a terrific facility. Ohio Northern is unique in its own way. It's older, but I think it's a really cool venue for college basketball. I think these two schools have great venues for the game. So, yeah, it's a league that's got a lot of pride, no doubt.
I always think it's interesting going to a lot of these gyms and just listening to the acoustics about how when places are rocking, about how exactly that they go. But this is another terrific one here for Baldwin Wallace as they lead 78-66. So Baldwin Wallace now back in the defensive end as the cut just did not end up as that possession wanted to go. So Kyle Nader back up top of the basketball. 4:45. You take a handful of time off of the clock at 10 seconds to go. Now in the possession on the shot clock. 3 away. And hello, Jay Battle. Battle was 11 points away coming into tonight, I'm told, from reaching 16th all time in scoring in school history. He picked that up and he added 5 more. So now the 16th best scorer in Baldwin Wallace history. Just moved in 17th recently. Thought about it. Kyle Nader is way out there, and Battle said, nope, please give me the basketball. He's done a great job of facilitating here in the second half. As the ball fake, back to Battle for 2.
Great ball movement. Really well done.
It's about 25 seconds of a clinic of ball movement. All the way back to the baseline just to find one open guy in that lead, which has been down as low as 9, back to 15. And a 3 on the way. I heard everybody yelling 2, and I was thinking from that distance, I think Berger's going to get an extra point.
There's a good chance of that.
He's got 4 players on his team right now, including himself, on the floor in double figures. As the lob and the throw.
I'm not sure Ty Colombo actually came down before he flung the ball back up in the air. That was pretty athletic.
I don't think he did, but that's a heck of a job by him. You get an opportunity to see that. Well, I guess he did a little bit. He came down on his right foot, but the fact that he even was able to get that up, that's a nice job by him, and he's having a terrific night. Shoots 36 of 55 from the free throw line. Is there extra scholarship money just available at the school? Is that an extra thing you put on your resume? Yeah, I played some pretty good basketball ball in Wallace, but I was pretty good with mopping up the floor. And it is a good question they just posed from the truck. The number of towels used. I think he just wiped his face with the one he wiped the floor with.
Oh, that's not nearly as bad as it was a minute ago. Oh, he was wiping it up on the other end. Kyle Nader had the blood. He wiped his face with the towel that he wiped the blood off the floor with.
I think I'm pretty glad that in the truck tonight they don't have things they've had in the past about a towels used graphic. That is a thing that has happened as those guys try to amuse themselves.
Well, Battle's had a good night, man. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. He's playing his heart out. Yellow Jackets trying to sweep John Carroll for the first time since 2012, 2013. But remember, when these two teams met last time, Blue Streaks were down 10 with about 3.5 minutes to play, and they forced overtime. Today, they're down 12. It's not uncharted territory for them.
And if not for that block by Kyle Nader, it would be a 10-point game with 3 minutes to go. But remember also, you talk about that sweep. What's crazy is to think of all the times these teams have played coming into this year, it was 61 wins apiece. This goes to show you how good both sides have been back and forth. 3 right into the student section. You know that nobody appreciates you like your home student section if you're Luke Schaefer. He turned immediately, and I would guess you talked about the football team over there early. They appreciated that like nobody's business. It's a 3 rattles home for Ryan Berger.
Ryan Berger's at 16 points now. Jimmy Berger at 16. Hippler with 14 and 10. He's having a great game. Connor Fitzgerald, Jackson Sartain, each with 13 apiece. You're talking about 5 players that have combined for 72 of the 74 points tonight.
You know, what's crazy about it is, you're talking about Sartain, it almost feels like he's got a quiet 13. He's got a couple of really loud threes.
Sure.
But outside of that, you just look up and you go, all right.
Well, he's missed half his shots.
Yeah.
He's 5 of 12 from the floor, and anytime he doesn't totally light it up, honestly, you're a little surprised because his capability is just through the roof.
Big number in this game right now. 42-31, Baldwin Wallace's rebounding advantage.
Well, we talked about it in the open, didn't we? I mean, John Carroll has really struggled on the glass this year, and tonight it's cost him.
Second part of that equation, assists are 21-12, and you know, it doesn't always necessarily tell the whole story. Jay Battle's got 9, Tyler Colombo's got 4, but it's about ball movement. There have been, if you were to give team assists, there have been at least 3 or 4 plays in the last 5 minutes where everybody touched the basketball, and it was, if we're going to settle for a shot, we're going to settle for a better shot than we would have gotten on the last pass.
Well, it's just about making the right decisions here late in the game. You don't want to make sloppy mistakes. You don't want to make stupid turnovers, and I guarantee you in that timeout, Tom Heil tells his team, hey, look, 12-point lead with less than 3 minutes to play is good, but last time we played these guys, it wasn't quite good enough to get through regulation okay. So, yeah, the fact of the matter is they've got to stay focused here late and make good decisions.
Not guarding the home run ball. That's not one. It's a quick, easy score for Luke Schaefer. That last time, 89-85 in overtime, January the 16th. Jay Battle with 27 points in that game and a 13 of 34 3-point performance akin to what it is tonight.
And look, trading buckets for BW is fine. It's no problem. Don't give up open threes, and that's why you saw the defense close down on Sartain so quickly around the arc there.
So the foul on to the other side makes it a 1-and-1. Just trying to determine. Did P. Moran have his tie on earlier?
Yeah, it's still on.
Because I was thinking that, I'm sorry, that Tom Heil have his on earlier.
Tom did not have a tie on. No.
Okay, because I was looking at both coaches trying to remember which one did. So I was thinking that Heil, with the heat that's in this building, I would try to ditch a tie too. 88-78, and a ball on the ground on a timeout. So 2:05, there you go. There's your 10-point game again. And we've seen just how quickly that the momentum could go back and forth. Well, both teams headed to the benches like it was a timeout.
Well, it was a timeout. John Carroll just chose to roll through it.
Try not to lose any kind of momentum right now. Baldwin Wallace on the defensive end. They bring it out a lot higher.
By the way, that's the final timeout for John Carroll. So with under 2 minutes to play, they are out of timeouts, and BW is in the bonus offensively.
Sartain nearly got his own rebound. He had to wait for it because it came off the rim so awkwardly. Missed on what would have been a deep 2. His heels on the line. Baldwin Wallace ends up called for the foul.
Well, we hope you'll stick with us post-game, everybody. We've got a chance to talk with both head coaches after the game. Hear straight from them both the oddities of the night with the delayed start. And we'll certainly chat about the entirety of the game as well. Coming up here shortly into our post-game coverage.
It's going to be fascinating to see different versions of what they talk about.
Sure.
As the ball holds on to the rim. It is just, again, another unfortunate set for John Carroll defensively. They step in and knock down the 3 to continue to try to trade at basket. Sean Flannery trades 3 for 2.
Well, by the way, that's the 10th 3 now for John Carroll, so it's not as though they haven't been able to shoot it well from the outside. They certainly struggled in that first half when only put up 30%, but Blue Streaks have really kicked it into a better gear here in the second half. They've shot better than 50% in the second frame.
Even further than that, they just had one make from 3. They've shot about 9 of 15. That's, again, we talk about Baldwin Wallace in the first half. You can shoot what your opponent did in the first half. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. The problem is Jay Battle continues to go up there and just sink free throws. Came in 53 of 70. Did the history major, hits 1 out of 2. John Carroll looking for any kind of opening where they can get a guy up top to get one of these threes out of the way. And the anticipation for Sean Flannery that he was going to be able to get that foul on Kyle Nader, you'll see here, right about there. Both guys met and they got Nader for just enough of the body to pick up his second foul. So final minute of this ball game. Sean Flannery, the sports study major, up and in. And you don't maybe necessarily look at him as you see the 5'9" junior. You don't maybe necessarily look at him in terms of all the height that's been on the floor around him, but he just goes and goes. I imagine he's like an Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, you know, he's never been the tallest guy on the floor, so I think he's kind of used to being in this role.
He plays a lot bigger than 5'9", though.
Oh, sure.
Does a lot of things well and is able to, at least on 2 occasions in this game, as he brings down his 7th point to make it an 8-point lead and get his team back to basketball with the help of a kind of a lackadaisical play on Baldwin Wallace's part. But he plays a lot bigger than that because he's got a tremendous sense of where the ball is at all times. It's obviously a very high IQ kid. So he wanted it back. You could see it in the worst way. He wanted that ball when he threw it back in to Jimmy Berger to come back to him. No box out, another rebound. No look into the corner, 3 on the way, partially altered. Hustle game right now is being won by John Carroll, but they just cannot get a shot to drop. Baldwin Wallace back on the offensive as the difference between the clocks at about 14 seconds. Right now just stalking his way to the free throw line. He's at Zach Zabula. The Brunswick Blue Devil able to put the shot up and in. 10 out of 13 from the free throw line this year. Played in 21 games, started 3. Had a good start to the year. Hit 4 out of 4 from behind the arc against Alfred State out of New York. Makes it a 10-point game.
Yeah, I mean, you would think a 10-point game here with 40 seconds to play should be comfortable enough.
I would also imagine it's one of those things where neither coach is really going to breathe until this game hits complete zeros.
No doubt about that.
And then even then, you might wait for a couple of seconds and say, we're done, right? There's nothing else. On the steal, there's a 10-point lead with Battle with the basketball. You feel pretty good about yourself that he's not going to have anything bad happen. And his team right at the number can just dribble it out. So Battle will finish with a terrific team high 19 points. His team will get a 93-83 win, and the Yellow Jackets will get to 15-7 on the year. John Carroll will drop to 9-13. So they did stop it with 0.7. Just pretty much academic right now as a 93-83 win, and like Brendan said, the first sweep for Baldwin Wallace over John Carroll in quite some time. Take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to both head coaches here on the OAC Game of the Week on NKT.TV.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
A member of NCAA Division III, the OAC features outstanding educational programs in a small class setting, while offering competitive athletic opportunities in 23 sports. 10 private colleges and universities form the OAC, the nation's premier small athletic conference. The Ohio Athletic Conference, where a proud history meets the promise of tomorrow.
TV. We're here with head coach Tom Heil after the Yellow Jackets knocked off John Carroll 93-83. It's a big win. For the first time in 6 years, the Yellow Jackets sweep John Carroll. How do you ride this emotional roller coaster of a game when you get off to such a high start and try to stay in it?
You know, I've been a part of so many BW John Carroll games as an assistant, as a head coach. A lot of times, one of the two teams is up big, and we've kind of been there, done that. They're never out of a game. We could have been up by 50, and that was going to happen. They're too good. They're too well coached. There's so many possessions in the game, and they have the ability to play so fast and so well when they play fast. They're never out of it, you know, and you have to be, I think you need guys that are mature enough to understand that, in good enough shape to play at that pace. And you got to be ready to finish the game. And I thought we finished the game, which I was proud of. I think every guy in that locker room at halftime knew that was going to happen. I certainly did. I know our staff did, and our players did too. They're a great team and a great program. And we knew we'd have to play for 40 minutes. Last time it took 45 minutes. So we were anticipating that type of a game, and I was proud of how we finished.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the delay at the beginning of the game. Certainly wasn't ideal.
Yeah.
You got to deal with some adversity along the way, and it was nothing you could really control. But what's it like as a coach to try to keep your team mentally focused for a delay that ended up taking 40 minutes, and both teams had a little bit of a disadvantage?
Well, you got to have guys that are mature. You know, I'm, me as a person and as a coach, I can kind of go with the flow, I think. And, you know, there's times that we change the practice plan in the middle of practice because we're going to adjust and see how things are going. So our guys are somewhat used to that, I think. I was proud of how they handled it. It's hard. I mean, you're ready to go. You come out here and all of a sudden the game starts 45 minutes or whatever, an hour after it was supposed to. But I was proud of how our guys handled it. There's really not much you can do. You just kind of wait. You know, you put your emotions in park, and you got to get revved back up again to play. That's what I was the most proud of. You know, they put the clock at 10, let it roll for warm-ups. I thought our guys did a really good job of getting revved back up and ready to play, emotionally, mentally, physically. So that's probably, I would say, what I was the most proud of. We were ready to play.
It was a fun night to watch the Yellow Jackets and Blue Streaks play what ended up being another really fun matchup in this rivalry. Congratulations. Go enjoy it with your team.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tom Heil, the head coach at Baldwin Wallace. We'll head it back upstairs here to Michael.
BW is your place, a strong arts and sciences tradition of student-centered education, a vibrant and active campus where students don't just learn, but gain real-world practical experience. Through internships with nonprofits in Cleveland, study abroad, field research, and service learning, Baldwin Wallace values you and will provide an academic and social experience that will prepare you for unlimited possibilities. Come be part of the BW community and together make an impact on the world.
Introducing NKT.TV, a brand new solution for the cord-cutting generation. With NKT.TV, viewers enjoy viewer-specific programming with the ability to pick and choose the channels you wish to subscribe to. Missed brush pile fishing this week? Catch it on NKT.TV, along with all your other Pursuit Channel favorites. NKT.TV offers dozens of network and channel options for you, the viewer, to choose from. So go ahead, cut the cord, and get everything you want with nothing you don't. Visit NKT.TV today. What is the best way to reach your customers? Have you tried traditional marketing and fallen short? Use video marketing from NKT Productions. It's effective, economical, and it can be used across multiple devices. Capture your customers where they spend their time most, on TV, websites, email, and social media. Don't miss your chance to show the world how great your business is with video marketing. Experience the power of video marketing through NKT Productions. Meet with one of our experienced media agents to learn more. Are you looking for an exciting career? Tired of a job doing the same task day in and day out? Ferguson Construction may be right for you. Now hiring all positions and skill levels, Ferguson Construction offers best-in-industry wages, full benefits including medical, dental, and vision, and an employer-matched 401k. Ferguson also provides reimbursement for tradesperson certification, so there is no limit to the amount of growth you can create in your career. Log on to ferguson-construction.com or call to get started on your path today.
The Hometown Opportunity website is a great option for us because we can post all of our positions out there. We can then link our application to that website and they can apply directly online for any of our positions we have posted.
They make it really easy to apply to several careers, and within a week I was able to find one that fit me.
I recently re-entered the workforce, and Hometown Opportunity helped me find a job that matched my skills and my family schedule.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Back here in Berea, and Coach, kind of an interesting night. The way it starts out with a rim, you guys try to get in a rhythm, and you finally find it there in the second half.
Yeah, I think we did. I mean, you know what? I just told our guys, to be successful in this conference, you got to come ready to play for 40 minutes. And, playing 3 games in 5 nights. We played Monday night. Guys, it's more mental than it is physical at this point in the year. And, we just got to a very, very slow start. And, we kind of dug ourselves in the hole and we're trying to get out of there all half. But I'm proud of the effort we put forth second half, statistically rebounding. Obviously the points, we outscored in the second half. But that's kind of been a theme all year is, putting together 2 good halves. If we do that, we've shown that we can beat anybody. But if you don't come ready to play for 2 halves, it's going to be a dogfight.
Well, and you get that mental game. You guys get within 12 at about 3:10 to go. You've been as close as 7 at that point. But do you know there's a timeout around that point where, all right, hey, guys, we did this last time. We were in a good position.
That comes with senior leadership. I mean, we don't have any seniors on the team, but we have a couple guys, the Burgers brothers, Sean Flannery. Those guys have been part of championship-level teams, Sweet 16 teams, so they know what it takes. A couple breakdowns defensively in that crunch time. I think fatigue kicked in a little bit down the stretch defensively. We gave up some easy baskets, but I'm proud of our effort. You know what? Tommy does a great job for BW. Those guys came ready to play, and obviously, their enthusiasm in the first half really set the tone for the evening.
Did you have any kind of issue going into the halftime break of, the rim on one side versus coming out in the second half?
No, we can't control that. That's, what Tommy and I talked before the game, both agreed that the game should be played. And, let's be honest, the rim was in regulation, and they also had to play with it for, a half just like we did. And, I venture to say that they probably shot a little bit poorer in the second half. I mean, free throw shooting, but to say that any outcome or anything like that nature, no. You know what? We came here to play a basketball game, and that's what we did.
You guys get a rare couple of days off before you play Ohio Northern on Saturday?
Much needed few days off. It's like I said, it's we got some guys chipped up, a little banged up, and to give them 48 hours where they can relax. It's going to be huge, especially down this stretch run. We know that, and we're confident that we can play with anyone in this conference, but we got to play at a high level, and we got to be healthy, and we got to bring our A game.
Best luck to you guys this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Back with a final wrap-up here in Berea after this on NKT Sports.
A member of NCAA Division III, the OAC features outstanding educational programs in a small class setting, while offering competitive athletic opportunities in 23 sports. 10 private colleges and universities form the OAC, the nation's premier small athletic conference. The Ohio Athletic Conference, where a proud history meets the promise of tomorrow.
BW is your place, a strong arts and sciences tradition of student-centered education, a vibrant and active campus where students don't just learn, but gain real-world practical experience. Through internships with nonprofits in Cleveland, study abroad, field research, and service learning, Baldwin Wallace values you and will provide an academic and social experience that will prepare you for unlimited possibilities. Come be part of the BW community and together make an impact on the world.
Introducing NKT.TV, a brand new solution for the cord-cutting generation. With NKT.TV, viewers enjoy viewer-specific programming with the ability to pick and choose the channels you wish to subscribe to. Missed brush pile fishing this week? Catch it on NKT.TV, along with all your other Pursuit Channel favorites. NKT.TV offers dozens of network and channel options for you, the viewer, to choose from. So go ahead, cut the cord, and get everything you want with nothing you don't. Visit NKT.TV today.
Time here in Berea at Baldwin Wallace and a 93-83 win. Brendan, to get a chance, we talked to both coaches and kind of pretty much how you thought that would go in terms of their mentality coming out of that game.
Yeah, you know, you kind of know what you're going to get with this rivalry, don't you? It's going to be 40 minutes of really physical, fast, hard basketball. Tom Heil specifically said it straight out. He goes, we could have been up 50, and we knew that would have happened in the second half. They expect John Carroll to play with that kind of energy and tempo, so not a surprise there. Look for the Blue Streaks. I think right now they're just a little bit shorthanded. They're trying to figure some things out. They got guys that are playing through some nagging injuries, and I think at the end of the day, if they can start clicking on all cylinders, they're good enough to make a run in this conference tournament. But it's been a lot of ifs for them this year, and it's been frustrating for a team that's so used to winning.
Conference tournament that gets a lot more interesting with the way that the OAC went tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Marietta losing at home. Or actually, you know what? It was in Alliance, a bigger part. They lost at Mount Union, and then
it makes it even worse. You got to make that travel home.
Yeah, you got the Capital Crusaders that won tonight, so now Capital's back atop the conference. Capital owns a tiebreaker with Marietta already because they beat them twice, so it's looking right now like Capital could be the top seed in the league. You'd probably have Marietta number 2, and then beyond that, Mount Union, Wilmington certainly fighting 3-4. Who knows where the rest of the teams are going to fall in place. BW would love to work their way up into the top 4 and get a home game. We'll have to see. The Yellow Jackets having lost twice to Wilmington and having lost to Mount Union already once, that might be tough sledding, but look, you get on this tournament floor, you just never know what's going to happen.
A 93-83 win as we take a look at the stats for tonight and the highlights from the game as well. And there's a lot of it right there. You see the young man able to put up a 3 and make it in. Kyle Nader, he's a big part of it. As a throwdown, his team, 66 shots. And you would normally look at that and think, yeah, that's a pretty good number. Then you look at the left side of that column, 77 shots for John Carroll.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you expect in this game. You know it's going to be a high volume possession game because they play so fast. So you really got to get after it and make sure you take good looks.
Points in the paint pretty much even. Bench points, Baldwin Wallace. At one point it was 21-7. So John Carroll able to get a couple deep late on, but you shoot 13 out of 14 from the line if you're John Carroll. And we just talked to Coach Moran, and he said, we did a lot of good things tonight. You can talk about the rim. It's not a factor in terms of how this game goes. They obviously shoot not as well in the second half, but a lot of that was to do with the fact defense became a much bigger thing for John Carroll in half number 2.
Yeah, they started playing defense. They started taking some pride on that end of the floor, and they tightened things up. And sometimes when you play defense well enough, it transitions to the other end of the floor, and you start hitting those same kinds of looks that you were missing early on. So they should be proud of the way that they fought, but I think they realized they dug themselves too deep the whole time.
Just one more game left in our OAC Game of the Week series. Comes at next Wednesday night from Ohio Northern University in Ada as the Wilmington Quakers ladies comes to town to take on a Northern program. They really need that win.
Yeah, once they lost Amy Bullimore to graduation, it's been frustrating for Northern, and they're another team that's capable because they've had so much success the last several years. They've lost more games in conference this year than they've lost the last 4 years combined. They're a dangerous team come tournament time, but they're not quite the same team that they've been.
It's a very young team as well, led by a lot of Lima area high school players. But that's our Game of the Week for next week. We've got both conference tournament finals on February the 23rd as our Game of the Week as well. A lot of fun yet to be had in the OAC.
Looking forward to it.
That is a wrap-up here from Berea, 93-83 in favor of the home team in Baldwin Wallace. Thank you so much for watching, wherever that you might be. For Brendan, I'm Mike, and the whole crew here at NKT Sports. Have a great night.